This class is being organized by two organizations. So I'm Francisca Henfo, and I'm the founder and also the CEO of the first organization, which is SmoothTech. So SmoothTech simply means Smooth Transition Help Center. And my partner is the founder and CEO of Branard Ghana. And Branard simply means Brand Advertisements Ghana, and they deal with graphic designing, photography, and videography. So SmoothTech is for trainings to help people, guide people through like mentorship to go to school, give them scholarships, help them secure scholarships, and like skill training. So that's basically what we do at SmoothTech. So I'm Francisca Henfo. I've already said that. A brief background about me. So, not to bore you guys with what I've written here, I come from a small village in the central region, and I was sponsored in senior high school and also university by Comfort Ghana through the MasterCard Foundation program. So, during this scholarship trainings and like the time I spent with Comfort, we had a lot of transition program, a lot of trainings, a lot of mentorship, right? And I realized that not everybody have the opportunity to get access to these things. Not everybody have the opportunity to get access to these things. So with the opportunities I got because of the mentorship, because of the transition programs, I realized that a lot of people, when they finish like university, when they finish senior high school, they have a lot of questions, right? And mostly they don't know who to ask or where to go and ask these questions. So that is why I started Smooth Tech, just to bridge that gap or create a space where people can come and ask questions. Okay, which form should I buy for university? What program should I choose? This is the grade I got. Can I do this course at this so university? How do I apply for the school? How do I get funding? Right. And also university students also ask questions like, how do I apply for job? How do I present myself for interview? If I want to do my master's, where should I look for information? Who should I ask for reference? So all these questions, when you come to Smooth Tech, we help people answer these questions. And I've also been in this tech space for the longest. So I started graphic designing when I was in level 100 during COVID-19. I received my first laptop from Comfort, and I didn't really know what to do with it. A girl that come from the village, that was my first laptop. So for like 3 days, I was only watching movies and like doing things online, right? But I didn't really know what to do with the laptop until I saw a link like the one you saw in the group that you joined, saying that you can learn graphic design with your laptop. So you have to install Photoshop and learn graphic design. And I was interested in that. So I joined the group and it was fun. My first training were just drawing shapes and coloring them, and it was fun. So that's how come I started learning graphic design. Because my laptop became useful, I didn't stop there. I started learning different tech skills. So I'm alumni of ALX Ghana. I'm sure most of you know about ALX. I've done like three of their programs. I've done um, virtual assistant, AI essentials. They have one called Salesforce. So I've been in the tech space for a while, like 6 years, and I've learned a lot. And so after school, I'm like, okay. Even in school, I was training people, right? And after school, since I started this initiative, I was like, okay, people still want to learn tech skills, right? They want to learn graphic designing, they want to learn how to use AI because now AI is everywhere. So how do I create a space that help people transition to different aspects of their life through learning tech skills and also through mentorship? So that's how come Smooth Tech was built. And I'm glad to be doing this with my partner, who is also a graphic designer, a videographer, and a photographer. So he has been doing this for about 10 years, getting to 11 years. So yeah, he has been doing this way before I started. And for today's class, it's a special edition because I'm doing this class also with my master class students, which are like about 11 of them. So if you have a participant on the call called Mame Anwa, I think he sent the last she sent the last message into the chat board. She's one of my master class students, and I think most of you are in her group. So I'm doing this with my master class students. If you join any of the links that they shared or group pages, anybody who was an admin on the page is part of my masterclass students, and I'm really, really happy about that. So for this training, the free class will be held for on over 4 days. The first class is today's class, which is the introduction. We are basically going to discuss graphic design and what graphic designing is, who can become a graphic designer, how do you become a graphic designer, and why should you become a graphic designer. The second class, we will talk about the essentials of graphic designer. So the basic you need to learn before you even start opening a software to start designing, right? And the third class, we are going to do introduction to Canva, which is the software or the app we are going to use in this class, because there are so many apps for graphic designing, but the one we are going to be using is Canva. So for our third class, we'll be looking at Canva, right? And with our fourth class, and then with our fourth class, we will design in Canva because we have already done introduction to Canva in our third class. What I want you guys to note is that most of the classes will be live classes. So the second class will also be a live class, but the third class, I believe some of us are using phone to join this class, and some of us are also using laptop, right? So those who are using laptop for the third class, I'm going to share our previous class lesson with you, which is on YouTube on our Smooth Tech page, so that you guys can go through the introduction to Canva, and then I'll have a special edition with all those using phone because we couldn't do that in our last free class. So I'm going to have the third class with those using phone, but all those using laptop can also join because obviously we also have phone, so you can join so that it's easier for you to design on your phone. So the third class will be with those using phone. And then with our fourth class, we can all join together because we'll be designing. So we'll all join and have our fourth class. Then after our fourth class, we are going to have master class. But I'll talk more on that as we progress. So don't worry about that for now. At the end of every class, we are going to have a feedback form to fill so that we just have a fair idea of how the class went and how we can improve for the next cohort, right? And also, we are going to have a short quiz, which is like OBJ, so it's not really difficult, just for you to refresh your memory on what you learn for the class. I want to also chip in that we are using the free version of Zoom. So each section will have 2 sessions in each class. So for example, today's class, the first 40 minutes is what we are having right now. And then we'll go for 10 minutes or 5 minute break. And then we'll join again for the next 40 minutes, right? I want the class to be like an hour, but we know time move fast and sometimes we are not done. So at most 1 hour, 20 minutes, we should be done with each class we will have. So the first 40 minutes, we'll go for 10 minutes break, then we'll come back for the second 40 minutes. Please, please, please. Mostly the main deal is in the second part of the 40 minutes. So please don't miss the second session. When you join for the first session and you go off, please kindly rejoin again for the second session. Thank you so much. So let's move right into what we are doing for today. For my master class students, if you are in the class today, I've only seen Vera. If you are in the class today, please send hi to the chat box so that they can connect with you after this, or you can connect with them also on your various pages, right? Okay. So this is my partner. I mentioned him earlier, and he is the founder of Ban Art Ghana. He couldn't join us today. He's currently shooting. So I won't talk much about him. When I share the slide later, you can read about him and you can also connect with him. So I'm just moving on to talk about what we are talking about today, right? So starting off strong, what is graphic design? I'm sure if you join the class and this is the first time you are hearing about graphic design, you are wondering what graphic design is, or you already Google it, so you know what it is, or you've already joined a class before, so you know what it is. For the purpose of this class, I just want to briefly talk about what a graphic design is. Excuse me. So, graphic design is the art and practice of creating visual content to communicate information. Um, I'm starting this class doing the basics of doing introduction to graphic design because, mostly we jump into designing, we jump into learning about the software and all that, but we don't really understand what we are doing, right? We learn the textile, we learn the technical aspect. But then if you already know what it is and who you are as a graphic designer, you understand what you are doing, your role, and you can better fit into your role. So this class is really important to build on, right? So please, 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 please pay attention to what we are learning today, because that is the building blocks. It's is the how when it's the foundation, right, of the house that we are about to build. So graphic design basically means creating visual content to communicate information, which means the purpose of a graphic design is to communicate information, right? Mostly we see a design, we are like, this design is not nice. Okay, if it is not nice, did you still get the information the person was trying to communicate? That means that the graphic designer achieved his or her purpose. So, visual content to communicate information. And we've seen graphic design everywhere we go. It is all around us. We see posters all this time. If you watch movie, you will see flyers, you will see newspapers, you see graphic designs everywhere. There's graphics everywhere that we go. So how do we design? How do we produce a graphic, right? So we combine elements like typography, color, images, layout, to produce design that inform, inspire, or captivate an audience. So the design is to inform, inspire, or captivate an audience. These are the purpose of a design. Graphic design serves to visually solve problems and enhance communication. It can be seen in logos, advertisements, posters, brochures, business cards, books, magazines, newsletters, and even digital products. So with this statement, you realize that graphic design is everywhere. It is all around that. Almost everything we do have like a bit of graphic design, right? When people are having weddings, their invitation card is designed, their billboards, like the welcome uh boards that they do, right? The menu, everything that they do, they like to communicate information, it's mostly designs or graphics. So that is just that. So the last statement says a good design not only looks appealing, but also ensures clarity and effectiveness in delivering its intended message. So as I said, you don't judge a design based on just how it looks, but also if you are getting the information it's intended to communicate. So if it is communicating the information, if you can read whatever it is there and you can understand it, it means that it has achieved its purpose. So let's move on. Who is a graphic designer? So a graphic designer is what? A visual communicator. Put this into your mind. A graphic designer is not someone who designs graphics. They are visual communicators. It means that they are communicating through visual presentations, right? So how they communicate is by presenting whatever information in a visual form so that others can see and read or get the information. So they use tools like Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, Canva. We have a lot of tools now. They are developing websites, apps. Now AI has come, so there's so many tools for graphic design, and they design things like brand materials, marketing materials, website, social media flyers, packaging, and more. And as we progress, we'll see some of the examples. Please, whoever is drawing on my screen, I beg, I beg. I don't like that. Please stop. It's not nice. Thank you. So I've already gotten a warning that we have few minutes to end this meeting. As I said earlier, we'll end the 40 minutes and then we'll have a break and then we'll come back. Whoever said it's raining and they don't have electricity, I'm sorry about that. I hope it come back soon. Okay. All right. So if the meeting end, we'll come back and continue. Please join back and continue. We'll prompt you guys when I restart the meeting so that we will join. In about 10 minutes, we should be able to start the second part. So before we start, let's continue. What do graphic design do? I've already mentioned some, right? So graphic designers, we create logos, branding materials. So when a business is starting, they mostly look for a logo, right? And if you are an entrepreneur here or a business owner here, you have a logo, you have brand colors, you have a flyer that you share around so that people know. You have like a business card, you have a letterhead to share information with your business partners or whatever, right? So these are like brand identity materials. Some big organization like University of Ghana, they have like pens that are customized, they have books that are customized, they have t-shirts that are customized, and all these are created by graphic designers. So they design them and they send it to printers and they print them, right? Then we also have marketing materials, which are like posters, brochures, flyers, and advertisement. So mostly posters are like what we post on a wall, right? And flyers, mostly we share them, right? And then we have stickers. Stickers are what you can stick on maybe a notepad, on your laptop, on your phone. Those are stickers. And brochure mostly have more than one page. So it can be like a 2-page, a 3-page, a 4-page with different information. And then we also have advertisement, which means that a brand is like trying to advertise their product, right? So those flyers form part of their marketing materials. Then we have social media graphics, which is like any post you see on the internet. So Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, all those flyers are social media graphics, all those things that you see there, right? We have banners, so mostly like social media. So these things, let me just say that when it comes to posters, flyers, brochure, banners, and all that, most of them are categorized, or we can determine what it is by its function on and also its size, right? So banners are mostly like bigger and maybe like we see banners like if what is her name? If a big artist is organizing an event, music event, right? They do big banners and big posters. So mostly it's about function and also by size that we use to categorize them. And also we have websites and UI design. So websites we have website designers, right? They do the technical aspect, the coding and all that. But what you see, the end user sees, as in the image moving, the graphics on the page, when you open a website, what you see physically, most of them are designed by graphic designers. And then the website designers, they program them for it to appear on the website. And then we have also UI design, which is for apps. So something like a Facebook apps, when you open it, the first page that comes, it was designed by a graphic designer, and then the programmers or the website designers, they programmed it to look like the way the graphic designer envisioned. So those who design apps and softwares and stuff, they call them UI designers, right? So they also design graphics. So that is just what I'm trying to say about that. And then we have packaging design, which is about labels. So if you see a Shitok bottle, you will see that they have like a sticker around it, right? So it is called a label. And then we also have product packaging, something like have you seen a gift bag before? So gift bag have like a sticker on it, or it has been customized with the business information, right? So those are all done by graphic designers. So you can see that graphic designers are important. We do a lot. Like there's so much we do in the world. We do like everything around people, business. Like when a business is running, most of the things you see online and stuff are done by graphic designing. And we also have illustrations and infographics, which is like is it silicone? It's like a drawing, right? But it's not a picture. People like have a way of using software to draw things and all that. And infographics are basically for communication, but then it have like maybe a box, and then you see an arrow pointing to the box, and then you have the information or the text in there saying exactly what you need to know, right? So those are infographics. I think I'll show you guys more pictures on that later. So let's move on. So examples of graphic designers. I really hope I'm not too fast. Let me take feedback. Am I too fast? Okay, so you guys said I'm not too fast. Thank you. Let's move on. So examples of graphic designers. So all those things I've mentioned. Now let's see some of the visual presentation. So the first box you can see a logo, a business card, and this one is called a pattern, right? So mostly we use the logo to like have a pattern for the brand, which they can use for maybe their t-shirts or their books and all that, right? So when we say branding materials, we are just talking about everything about a business. So their logo, their business card, their letterhead and all that. So that's some of the examples here. So that's some of the examples there. And then we have marketing or advertising design, right? And so that include social media graphics like Instagram posts, posted and brochure. So some of the things you can see here are the watch flyer, right? That is for marketing. It's a marketing flyer. And that is also for social media graphics. So this can be posted on Instagram, right? And this one is more of a poster, or it can also be like printed into a sticker or a flyer, right? But mostly this is not the size. This size is not posted on Instagram. Mostly we post this size, which is 1080 by 1080 on Instagram. That is the most marketing materials. So all the three flyers you see down here, this one, and also this one are marketing flyers. So most of them talks about a product, and then how much the product is, how you can access it. So maybe a contact or the location you can go to buy it. Mostly we have images or pictures of the products, right? So we see marketing flyers everywhere, and most of them we see them in our WhatsApp platform, right? So every WhatsApp group you belong to, mostly people share their marketing flyers. Okay, so let's move on. So, as I've already talked about websites and UI UX design, we have landing pages, we have app interfaces, and we have dashboard designs, right? So, the first three designs on top, which is this one, and also this one. So, this one is a website. When you open a website, mostly they have this layout, right? So, you will see their homepage, which mostly have a picture and then the brand name. They have the logo. You will see the on top there, you will see maybe home services, about us, the team, contact us, and all those things, right? So the designer, yes, Meredith, I'll share the PDF, the slide. I'll share it with you guys after the class. So the designer, the UI UX designer, right? Which mostly are graphic designers, but UI UX we use Figma, right? So they will design this that you are seeing, this one, right? They will design this so that the coders, the website coders, right? Those who code the website will see exactly what we want people to see when they view the website, right? So the designer is saying that this is the layout that I want, right? And then the website designers, the programmers, the coders, they will also program it to look like this. So the designer is to help visualize how we want the end product to look like. And then the programmers, the coders, those are the background, right? The people we don't mostly get to know. We'll also program it to look exactly what the graphic designer has visualized, right? And then we have app. So you see when you open, which app is popular? Bolt or Yango, right? The first interface will probably show the map, and then they will show you where to put the location you are going, all those things, right? All the layouts, like the first thing you will see when you open. When you go to another page, what you will see there, all those things are mostly designed by graphic designers, which are those designers are called UI UX designers. And what they do is to visualize or create what we want to see on the app, right? And then the coders or the programmers will also program it to look like that. So this is mostly called a wireframe. So the designer will send this, and then the website designers or the app developers will look at it and be like, oh, okay, so the first page is supposed to look like this, and then they will program it to look like that. So mostly that is what designers do when it comes to app development. Okay. Then this one is something like Boomplay or Apple Music, right? Those music platforms. Yes. So I'm just trying to say that website, apps, and all those things, they are programmed, right? But then what you physically see with your eyes on the website, most of them are designed by UI UX designers, which are also graphic designers, but you have different types of designers, right? So one of them is UI UX designers. And those people, they create this visualization so that the app developers, the website developers, the coders, the programmers can program it to look like what we have shown them. So let's move on to print and editorial design, which mostly we are talking about books, magazine, newspapers, newsletters, reports, and these are some of the examples. So we have this is a book, and then we have like a newsletter. This is a magazine cover, right? So these things are all over us, like all around us. We see books all the time. You see, even the children books that we have in our houses, it is designed by graphic designers, and printers print them. So you see, this industry is very interesting. We do a lot of interesting things. Even a simple things like what do they call it? Something like PTA card, right? When we go to school, they have these small cards that they print for parents to fill with their children details, the dues they are paying and all that. All those things they are designed and then they send them to printing press and then they print them. So mostly anything that you physically see that you have like images inside, words in letters inside that is communicating informations are being designed by graphic designers, right? Some people don't call themselves graphic designers, but they still produce these designs and then people print them. So graphic design is all over us. So there's like a huge space for you to fill if you want to become a graphic designer, right? It is not a niche that is going out anytime soon. And then let's move on. Then let's come to printing stuff, right? So we have packaging design, which I've talked about, the Shito label. So I use Shito because mostly we have Shito in our household, right? And when you see a Shito package, most of them are like really cute and they have like this sticker around it showing you the ingredient they use, how to store them, uh maybe how hot it is, how not hot it is, and all those things. They have some of the images on it, the contact details, so that in case you want to reach out, right? And also they have maybe FDA approval stamp on it, right? Yeah, so these labels, like when you pick something like your hairspray or your deodorant and all that, you can see they have like a label on it. They have all the stickers around them, right? So the customization, the bottle are produced by another set of people, right? But the writings you see on it, how the product looks physically, the name, how where the name is positioned, the information about the product, these things are designed by graphic designers, and then the company prints them or they sent it to the printing press, right? So they have people who do customization and all that. So their job is to make sure that what the graphic designer has designed will be like fits around the bottle or the paper or the book or whatever that they are trying to customize, right? So we have cream containers and all that. It's like these things are all around us, and I'm sure we have seen them a lot, right? And then we also have t-shirts, we have mug, we have the what do they call it? The cap that we wear, right? All those hard caps that we wear, most of them, the logos you see on them, they are mostly designed by graphic designer like this one, right? So what the designer will do is to create a mock-up like this. So this is a mock-up, right? So they will visualize how it should look like this, and then they will send it to the printing press, those who bring the hard copy up around, and then they will see that, oh, okay, it's supposed to be in front, or it's supposed to be at the back, or the text is supposed to be on top of it, and it's supposed to be this color, right? And then they will take the logo or the text we have created, and then post it on it or paste it on it. So they have their own processes. I don't have much knowledge about it. My partner does printing and stuff, so he has much knowledge about these things. But unfortunately, today he's not in class. Maybe one of these days I will bring him so that he explain more about what goes into printing. So we have to visualize how we want the product to look like, the end product to look like. And then those designers would then print it to look like what we have visualized, right? Yes, so basically that's what I'm trying to say. And then we have t-shirts, it's the same thing. T-shirts will do a mock-up like this, and then we'll send it to the printing press so that they know exactly where they have to put it. So these are some of the t-shirts I've done in the past. And then we have a mark like this. Now we have also our phone covers, right? They are all designed. So designs are all over. Now you can see that, oh, everything around you is done by designers. We designed almost everything in the world, right? And different people also do different things when it comes to product design and all that, right? But mostly the visualization is done by graphic designers. Okay, let's continue. So continuing Let's move on to motion graphics. So motion, anything when you hear motion graphic, just know that it is graphics or a design that is in motion. It is moving, right? So let me play this one. So this is a flyer that has been animated, right? So it is a motion graphic because the element inside is moving. So basically that is what motion graphic means. It means that the elements are in motion. In motion means it is moving, right? It is in movement. So you can see this welcome thing. So when you go to church and you see welcome to church, we are glad to have you today. All those things are mostly designed by graphic designers. So we have like videographers and all that, right? But then most of them are designed by graphic designers. So we can see all these things. When you go to uh Snapchat, right? What do they call them? The filters that you use, they are mostly designed by graphic designers. They also have their own field. They are called differently, right? But it is part of graphics. It is part of design. It is part of the industry. So which means that if you want to be a graphic designer, it's not only about flyers, it is not only about posters. So you have to know, okay, I want to specialize in this, right? Then you look at the software that will help you design those things. Then you master that software, and then you can call yourself that specific niche, right? So graphic design has a lot of aspects, a lot of niches. So it is different, and we cannot really put ourselves into a box. So let's move on to tools that graphic designers use. And I have already said there are so many of them. So the almighty Canva. Why Canva is first is because Canva is universal and it is international. It is also free. It is free. They have paid version, but uh most of the things you want to do, you can do it in the free version. You can see I'm doing my presentation in Canva. I did my slide in Canva. I designed it in Canva, and I can also present in Canva, right? It means Canva has a lot of opportunities. It has a lot of how do I say it? It's a platform that if you leverage on it, you can do a whole lot of things. Those who are into digital marketing, right? Canva is one software or app that if you master, it makes your life so easy. Okay. Most of the big brands that we see around right now, they use Canva because it's easy, it was quick. And one thing also is that you can collaborate with your team members in Canva. You can form a team so that they know exactly what flyer you are working on, if you are done, and they can give their feedback or comment on it so that you don't have to download it, send it before you get feedback, come and design again, download. No. Yeah. So Canva is so easy to use and it is also free, right? And another thing about Canva too is that most of the apps or softwares or platforms, it is for maybe photography, it is for maybe videography, it is for like graphics, right? But in Canva, you can use it for all those things in combined, which means you can use it to create motion graphics, you can use it to create videos, you can use it to create the normal flyers and posters we see, right? So it's a universal platform. We also have Adobe Photoshop, which is also one of the software that we use for image editing of photo editing. So big photographers, they use Photoshop for designing, right? And they also use it for photo editing. So I will always advise that those who will master Canva should also master Photoshop. I always advise that. So don't limit yourself to the softwares. Always learn more than one. Okay. Just that in this class, we are going to focus on Canva. There will be a class on Photoshop, but not now. So we also have Illustrator. So mostly Illustrator are used for logos because they have their resolution are really sharp. So Photoshop creates PSD files and Illustrator creates vector files, right? So vector files, if you make them big, which means if you enlarge them, they don't lose their sharpness, they don't lose their quality. Sometimes Photoshop files, when you enlarge them, they pixelate, which means they become uh like blurry, right? So most of the flyers we see around, sometimes you don't see that they are sharp, right? Because they are Photoshop files. And the more you share them, the more they make them small or bigger, they lose their sharpness. But with Illustrator, they remain the same. They are very sharp. So if you see a logo that is very sharp, it means they use Illustrator for it. So if you want to create a logo, the software I would mostly advise to use is Illustrator. You can also create a logo in Canva, right? But when a big brand is building a brand and they need a logo, please use Illustrator. We also have CorelDRAW, which is a very, very old software. It's a very, very old software. You can also use it for everything, like graphics, logos, which means that all the softwares I'm saying, you can use it for logos, you can use it for graphics, right? But we have prefer ones for specific things because of their how do I say, their end products, right? I don't want to use graphic terms so much because most of you are beginners and I want you to understand it's like I want to explain it like I'm explaining to a child so that you can understand it even if you don't know anything about graphic design. Then we have Procreate. I've not personally really used Procreate before, but with Procreate, you can actually, if you have an iPad or a MacBook and all that, you can be drawing in it, right? So you can literally like have a free creativity wheel and like draw things, right? And it is fun. Then we have Figma. So the almighty Figma is used for the app and the interfaces that I was talking about, right? So UI UX designers don't use Photoshop, Illustrator, Canva, Corridor, and those things to project what they want the app or uh, website to look like. They use Figma. So if you want to be a UI UX designer, the software you need to master is Figma, right? And that niche has a lot of opportunities. There's money in there. So if you want to be a graphic designer, if you want to be a UI UX designer, probably you should consider this one. Yes. Then we have Adobe InDesign, which is mostly used for book designs because it is easy to create different pages, layout, and stuff in there. So you can easily use it for book design, magazines, brochure, invites, right? If they are doing like a funeral and they want like those book that they do for the funeral, you can easily use Adobe InDesign. You can also use Photoshop to do those books, even Canva to do the books, right? So PDF, you can create a PDF and in all these softwares, right? Just that Adobe InDesign is mostly used for it, and the software is specifically for that. So it is easier in that software. Just so that you are clear that anything you want to design, mostly you can do it in any of the softwares, right? But most of the software has specific uses. And then if you know them, it makes your life easier. So let's move on. I hope my time is not moving against me. So let's go to job roles. So I've already said that there are different niches, there are different aspects of graphic design, right? So this uh how do I say it? This page is talking about that. So we have UI UX designer, which I've already talked about. They create website pages, they create landing pages, they create app interfaces and all that, right? So the Yango app was created by a UI UX designer. I didn't say it was programmed by a UI UX designer. What you physically see when you open it was designed by a UI UX designer, but it was programmed or developed by app developers or software developers, right? So that's why we have software development. And then people learn that they specialize in software development, right? And then we also have brand identity designers. They specialize in business design. So if you want to create a brand for your business, right? They will create a logo for you, a business card, a letterhead, your pen customization, your book customization, your tote bags. Those things are created by brand identity designer, which also means you can be more than one. You can be a brand identity designer and also be a motion graphic designer. So you can be anything you want to be as a graphic designer. Then we have motion graphic designers, which they create things like this. So you see that the Canva logo is moving, right? So it was created by a motion graphic designer. Then we have marketing or advertising designers. They create marketing flyers and posters and designers. And then we have packaging designers. So they create the things you see on your pomade bottles, your sheer bottles, your spray containers, all those things, right? They are done by packaging designers. Then we have editorial print designers. So they do magazines, books, and all those kind of things. And then the almighty freelance graphic designers. They do everything they want to do because they manage their own business and they can be anything. That's why you can see I've put in all the other ones in there, right? So a freelance graphic designer mostly means that you don't work for a specific organization. You are not employed by any organization. Let's see, TV3 has in-house graphic designers, right? So they do the snapshots. Maybe if a presenter says something on air, right? They do those graphics that you see on their Instagram platform, their social media platforms, right? But then sometimes maybe they want to do a book design, right? They can contact a freelance graphic designer because their in-house designers are busy, right? And then they will say that this is the contract. We want you to design a 48-page book. How much will you charge? So for you, you don't work with any organization, but you work with different organizations, and it is your own business. So you charge according to what you want to charge. You see, you manage your own contract and you find your own contracts, right? So you don't do like a monthly work, right? But you work with different organizations. So that's specifically or basically what a freelance graphic designer is. And that is also what I will encourage you to do because it's like an entrepreneur, right? You manage your own business. But please, if you are lazy, don't venture that because you have to plan the time you want to design. You have to advertise your own self so that you get gigs, right? So it's a full-time job, right? It's the same as working for somebody, but this time you are working with different brands and not just one company. So let's move on. I want to finish the second part and end this slide so that we don't come back. So how do you become a graphic designer? One, you learn the fundamentals, which we are doing. You learn about graphic design, and then you find out, oh, I want to be a UI UX design. Then you come back and learn what graphic design entails. So you learn about typography, you learn about color theory, you learn about how to use images, how to edit your images, how to lay out your pages, and all those things. You learn about branding and visual identity, right? So you learn about colors, all those things. And then you find a tool. So depending on which designer you want to be, which I've explained in the previous slides, you choose the tool you want to master, whether Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Canva, Figma, and then you master it, which means you learn how to use the tool, right? So whether you find someone to teach you, you use YouTube, you go to school because we have design schools that you can do a degree in graphic design. There's diploma programs. There's a school in Ghana that do graphic design. I wanted to remember, but I'm not remembering. Maybe I'll remember later, right? And then you take courses, right? So after you have decide on the tool you want to master, now you take courses like the one you are doing right now. So you go through a free class, or you buy a paid class, or you watch YouTube video, or you go to the formal education journey. So you go and do a degree, you do a diploma, you go and do a master's in graphic design, right? Excuse me. So that's how you learn graphic designing. Then as you are learning, you build a portfolio. So a portfolio basically means what you are creating, right? The things you are learning, you put them together and then share so that when somebody see them, they can say, oh, okay, you have done a book before and that it looks good. So I want you to do my book for me. So portfolio basically includes the work you have done, the skills you have, the education you have, some things you can do and some things you cannot do. So that's a portfolio. And some of the platforms you can use to build those portfolio is Instagram, Pinterest, Behance, Dribble. There's a lot. I will recommend Pinterest and Instagram, right? Yes, Pinterest and Instagram. So those are easy. They are easy. Behance and Dribble, I've not really like master it yet, and most of them are for like foreigners, but Pinterest and Instagram are like general. You can see things that resonate with you or you are familiar with, right? Wow, we are running out of time again. Okay. Then you practice, 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 practice. This is where the real work is. Okay. Because if you learn and you don't practice, I bet you are going to forget. It is not 2 times 2. You will forget. So you will get a work, you open your Photoshop and you don't remember how to use the software. Well, if you use it over time for like 5 years, you will always remember how to use it. But then you may forget some of the things you learned like not a long time ago, right? So you practice. I would say that volunteer for small businesses or nonprofit organizations. There's so many nonprofit organizations. Volunteer with them and then help them do their flyers, right? That's how the easier way to learn graphic design. And then also do maybe your friends are celebrating their birthday, do flyers for them. Your church, do flyers for them. You will learn easily through that. You can also do what we say, how do I put it? A trial project, right? So you've not gotten a contract from anybody, but you sit down and you say that, okay, I'm going to start building a business from scratch. So you give the company name, then you design a logo for the company. Nobody has sent you, you have sent your own self because you want to become better, right? And then you do a business card for the company. You decide their colors, you decide their fonts, you do a flyer for them, you do a marketing flyer for them, you design a letterhead for them, you design a book, a pen for them, right? So that's how come, yeah, you learn easily when you do those trial works. Okay. But if you want to learn, the quickest way to learn is to volunteer with an organization. Because I started in school, I got the opportunity to volunteer in my department. I was the deputy public relation officer, right? And I was also uh public image director for Road Tracts UG, and then the deputy public image director for Education Student Association. So I was designing all the time. I was also part of Alice Talk World, their communication team. So I design, even up to date, I'm still part of them. So I design all the time. I design every day. Even today, I've done 2 flyers. So what I'm trying to say that the more you design, the more you become better. Our time is running fast, so let's move on. Then you stay updated, which means you keep learning because education is a lifelong journey. You learn every day. New softwares comes every day, which makes our life easier, right? So now AI is available. Learn how to use the AI platforms to make your life easier. So learn every day. Keep learning. Keep watching YouTube videos. Keep improving your skills. Then you choose a specialization. So if right now you don't know what to specialize in yet, go through the training, right? As you design, you will come to realize where your, how do they put it? Where you are strong out, right? Where, like, which things you do that is easy to you. Maybe when you create logos, it's easy to you because some people struggle to create logos, right? But maybe you create logos easily. Your creativity is in that aspect. Or you are someone who likes developing apps, or someone who love designing flyers or packaging, right? So as you design, you will get to know where you want to specialize in. So when you move to like maybe a year after, 2 years after, 3 years after, you can now decide that, okay, for now, I want to just help businesses create their brand identity. But for now, you can do everything you want to do. There's no limitation. Then let's come to why you should learn graphic design. Okay, so some people are saying that University of Education have graphic design program. Okay, So Takoradi Technical University too. So those who want to be go and do like the official route, right? You can consider this program. So you can start doing your research about the program they have, how much it costs and all that. And then they also said tech, like, yes, so tech also have graphic design program. Yes, okay. All right. So let's move on. But if it ends, we are coming back after 10 minutes. I just want all of you to know that. Okay. All right. Thank you for staying. I said 1 hour, but we have done more than that. Okay, so let's move on. I hope my screen is still showing and you can all hear me clearly. So moving on, I was saying that why should you learn graphic designing? So after everything I've said, if you are wondering, okay, it looks interesting, but why exactly should I go and spend 4 years in school learning graphic design? Or why should I pay for somebody to teach me graphic designing? Or why should I go and watch YouTube videos and learn how to design, right? It's because in this world that we are in right now, in this current economy, job opportunities is something everybody look forward to, right? And one of the in-demand skills is graphic design. If you see anybody write a blog post or uh, an article or a short note about in-demand tech skills, there's always graphic design or UI UX design as part of their list. There's always graphic design because as I've already explained, you know that you can now see that everything around us is designed, right? Everything, like everything mostly we see around us is designed by graphic designers. Something like the baby oil, right? So baby oil, I've seen one on my table, that's why I'm talking about it. So a baby oil, right? When you look at the baby oil bottles back, you can see they have like a sticker at the back. It was designed by graphic design, which means that the baby oil producing company hire graphic designers to the down to small businesses. All the WhatsApp platform that you are on, there's a lot of business owners that are always talking about what they do, what they sell, and all that, right? Mostly, if you chat those people, they either need a logo, they need a business card, they need a flyer, they need designs, right? So you can find job opportunities everywhere, everywhere. I cannot start to explain the opportunities that I've been able to access because I was a graphic designer. So everywhere I go and I say I'm a graphic designer, it's like people stop and want to listen to me because they've not seen so many ladies who design. Some of the shocking statements I've always heard it. Oh, you are the first lady I've seen who can design, or you are the second lady I've seen who can design. Especially in 2019, graphic design was not widely known. I think for now, because of the online trainings and all that, mostly we know about graphic design, but we don't know what it entails, right? So it is in high demand. There's so many job opportunities. So that is one of the main reasons why you should learn graphic design. Then we also have creative freedom or self-expression. So if you did visual art or something, you know that you have the freedom to like create or bring your own things into the world. You can contribute to the world by creating your own things, right? Because if someone give you a job and they say that I want a flyer, they will not show you exactly what to do. But when you sit down and you think about it, now your mind produce what you want to bring to the world. And after you have created, it is your work. It is what you have created. So when somebody see it, it is your addition to the world. It is your contribution to the noise in the world. So it gives you freedom. It gives you the creative freedom. You get to create icons, logos, flyers, books, stickers. What have you think about? So some people use like fashion design to like express their inner creativity, right? They create these beautiful fabrics, these beautiful wears like hoodies, trousers, straight dresses that we were, right? So this is also another form that you can express yourself. Okay, let's move on. So moving on, the third reason is that there's work flexibility, right? So I've already talked about the fact that you can either work as a freelance graphic designer or you can work with a company as a full-time graphic designer. It's like photography. You can either start building your own brand as a freelance photographer or you can work with the company as a photographer, right? So I mentioned that TB3 has in-house designers. Currently, I'm working on a recipe book, right? I don't work with any organization as a full-time employee, but I was contracted by this organization. They do graphic designing, they do like branding stuff, right? But their in-house designer is too busy to work on that project. So they share that information that they need someone to work on uh, a recipe book. I applied, I got it. Please, I'm recording at my end, so you don't need to record at your end. Also, I will share the recording link. Thank you. Somebody requested to record. All right, so let's continue. I said that I'm working on a recipe book. So that's just it, right. Somebody can say that, oh, I need a birthday flyer for my pastor, right? You don't work with the church as a designer, but they will ask you to create a flyer for their pastor. So that is like freelancer, and they will pay you for the job you have done. So there's work flexibility. You decide when you want to work, or you work full time with an organization, so that if at a point you don't want to do graphic design and you want to focus on another aspect of your life, you can do that and then come back and continue graphic designing, right? As simple as that. So no degree required, learn at your own pace. So I've already said that if you don't want to go through the formal route by going to do a degree course, you can always learn from somebody who has already become a graphic designer, like myself or other people, right? So you have coaches, right? We have trainers, and then some people will take money, some people will not take. It's like when you want to learn hair braiding, right? You go, pay for it like an apprentice, then you learn under them, and then you master the tools or the skill, right? But some people go to Ghana Media School, GH Media. It's a school for like media stuff. So cosmetology, they do graphic design. I think they do yes, they do graphic design, right? As part of their courses and all that. So you can go to a school, but then nobody will ask you that you have a degree in graphic design if you're applying for a work. You can add it to your CV, right? It's nice, but nobody will ask you. They'll ask you which project have you worked on, which contract have you finished, what did you learn, what is the outcome of the contract, how did you manage your time, how did you manage the team you were working with. So they will not really ask you which school did you go to and which degree you got from school, right? They will not ask you to produce any certificate for graphic design. What is important is, can you use the software? And can you do what they are asking you to do using the software? So that is what is important. And you can also learn at your own pace, which means that you are not writing any exams in any school. So you learn with the time you have and at the pace you have. Some people are fast learners, right? Some people are also slow learners. So whichever way you want to learn, you learn. You can also learn by using YouTube courses, Coursera courses, Udemy courses. There's even courses in Canva. Canva has short courses teaching you exactly like some things you can do in Canva. So you can even learn how to use Canva in Canva. Okay. Then we have affordable software like Canva, Figma. So Figma is also free to an extent. You can use it for beginners and all that. All right. So we also have job satisfaction. Sorry about that. Impact and job satisfaction. So that is simply to say that you can make an impact in the world. For example, The person who created the logo for Apple might be really proud now because the Apple logo is their brand identity, is the face of Apple. It's everywhere. It's on every product. People recognize the brand just by seeing the Apple logo, right? The Apple is not even like the Apple brand is not added to the logo itself, the icon, right? But just when you see the Apple icon, you know that this brand is from Apple, right? They don't even have to tell you. So that person has made a mark in the world. When they die and they are go generation to come, they will say that this person was the one who created the Apple logo, right? And they always tell the story of how they got the idea and all those things, whether they slept and they got a vision from God and all those things. So yes, and you also get to do important and meaningful work like working with NGOs, startup in the education sector, in the health sector. When you work with NGOs and small startups, it's really, really fulfilling because you feel like you are part of whatever they are doing, whatever they are creating, right? So, for example, whoever is working with MasterCard and is creating their flyers, she or he is not giving them money to do their big projects, right? He or she is also not out there scouting for scholars or doing any of those things. All they do is to design the flyers that give the information for you to see and apply for their programs, right? But he will feel important because he's also contributing to the bigger goal of the team. So your work as part of any team you become part of or anything you do is important because if somebody is celebrating their birthday and they share a flyer right now everybody know that they are celebrating their birthday, whether the person wanted to know or not. Now they know. And it's nice, isn't it nice? It is nice. So you get it gives you some kind of satisfaction and you make an impact in the world, right? So seeing your work used in real life is extremely fulfilling. I cannot tell you how exciting and how fulfilling it is when you see your work printed. So if you design on your laptop or your phone, it looks small, right? But then when you send it and they print it and it comes out, oh my God, it feels amazing. If you see your banner posted somewhere, it really feels nice. I think the first time I did a book that was printed, I worked with an NGO. It's called Girls Education Initiative Ghana, right? And it's as an NGO. I work with them as an administrator, as and also their projects manager. And when they were doing their 10th year anniversary, they asked me to help them create the booklets, right? The program booklet that they create for these conferences. And I did it. And then a day before the event, they brought it. And I saw it. Oh my God. I was so excited. So the next day when they were sharing it, I'll go around asking them, what do you think about the book? Is it nice? And people will be like, yes, it's nice. It's really nice. And I was so proud of I didn't tell them I did it, but I was really proud of myself. So it's nice, it's fulfilling, it's exciting and all that. Trust me, graphic designing is not easy. It's really, really stressful, okay? Because the world thinks they know what we do, but they don't know. So when you bring it out and someone make a comment, you can literally say that this person doesn't know what they are talking about, but they want you to implement it, right? And sometimes it can be annoying. So it's stressful, but then when you see your work being used, it's fulfilling and it's exciting. So let's move on. So six, I would say that this point is for business owners and also entrepreneurs. So if you own a business here and if you're an entrepreneur, why should you learn graphic design? Because probably you will not even get time to design your own flyers. But if you will get time, it means that you are cutting cost, right? So learning graphic design empowers you to build a strong brand, market effectively, and save cost. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to know the basics and then you can make a big difference. So why I say it can help you build a strong brand is that if A designer says that you should use blue and maybe green in your brand identity. And you don't know why they are saying that because you don't know anything about designing and you just accept it. And later on, you realize, that, okay, it doesn't really match what you were going for. It becomes an issue, right? But since you have a basic in graphic design, you've already gone through the training, you know about graphic, you know what colors means, you know why we use colors, you know why we should use colors in some specific branding identity, you know how we should use the colors, right? And you've learned about these things. So when you are now a director or a CEO of your own brand, right? And now the media team, the communication team are discussing what they want to bring out. And they are saying, okay, so we want to use green for this one. Now you can make what we say constructive what criticism or feedback because you know what you are talking about. You understand what they are trying to say, and you cannot give your feedback in the right way. So you can tell them that, okay, so I don't think we should use green because you know green uh, uh communicate this kind of feeling, and because of what we want to communicate with this specific flyer, I don't want us to use green. I want us to use blue. They know why you are saying it, and they also know why you don't want them to do what they are doing. So they can now implement whatever option you are giving them, right? So, but if you start talking and you don't know what you are talking about, you are just giving them feedback, they'll feel like you are trying to undermine their work because, first of all, you don't know what they do, but you are giving them options whilst you don't actually know whether it will work or not. You can also see a flyer and be like, okay, I don't think where we have positioned this picture, it should be there. We should move it to this side because you know that if they move it to this side, it will work. And you are just not saying that because you want the flyer to look nice. Because they're communicating the information doesn't necessarily mean that the flyer needs to be nice. And also, you can market effectively because you can design nice flyers. You can design flyers that communicate the information you want to communicate. And you can also save cost. So many small businesses ignore design. So this is your chance to stand out because most business owners, most entrepreneurs, they don't know anything about graphic design. They outsource their designs, right? So this is your chance to stand out. You can also create high quality flyers that can differentiate your business from other people that are competing with you. And a strong brand image attracts more loyal customers and investors. You can attest to the fact that when you see a flyer that is nice and sharp on Instagram, you stop scrolling because Instagram is noisy. There's a lot of things going on social media, right? But if you see a flyer that is nice, you always pause and you want to know what they are trying to sell or what is on the flyer. You will pause and look at it for like a minute and get the information and move on. But if the flyer is not nice, to probably you will insult the graphic designer in your head and you will move on as well. So yes, nice flyers and nice designs attract customers and investors. So I think with the long text I've written, it's important, so I'm going to read it. Even with the design team, learning graphic design helps business owners communicate ideas clearly, which I've mentioned, give better feedback, and make quick edits without always relying on designers. It ensures brand consistency, speeds up decision making, and gives you more control over your creative direction. This knowledge enhances your collaboration, reduces delays, and helps you make smarter branding marketing choice. So these are some of the reasons why we should learn graphic designing. And with that, today's class has come to an end. So I'll pause now and take questions. Uh, Once again, I want to thank all my masterclass students because they made this cohort of um training possible. They created the groups, they shared the group link, they got you guys into the group. Okay, so if you are here, it is thanks to them, not to me. So thank you to my masterclass students. Shout out to you guys for putting this together and inviting me to come and teach. So that will be all for today's class. Please let's ask all the questions we want to ask. So if you have a question, please give a thumbs up or raise your hand as a reaction. And then what I will do is that I will unmute you because I don't want people unmuting themselves and clashing, right? So I will unmute you and then you can ask your question, or you can post it in the group chat that you have a question. Or you can even ask your question in the chat box and I will answer. So question time, let's ask our question. And whilst we are asking our question, I'm going to post the feedback form and also the short quiz in the chat box and also on the pages so that we answer them. So are we good to go? Any questions? So first question, can Canva be used online? No. I'll say yes and no. So one thing about Canva is that it uses internet. I think that's the one of the downside, right? So if your internet is no good, you can easily lose your work. But another thing is that I think they've made the platform now, how do I say it? Convenient for you to create without the internet. So they will say that, oh, your internet is off. Do you want to continue editing? You may lose your work. So if you give them the go ahead, you can edit it, right? But you may lose your work. Remember that they say you may lose your work or you may not. So you can still edit without the internet and then risk losing your work or not losing your work. So you should always have internet connection when you are using Canva. Okay. So I cannot I don't think this is a name because it's just random letters. So someone is asking, please, will you take us through it? Yes, when we're starting the class, I said that our second class will do fundamentals of graphic design, where we will look at typography, color theory, elements of designing, and all that, right? And then in our third class, we'll do introduction to Canva. So that one will go through the Canva interface, some of the things you can do in Canva. We will look at the tools in Canva, how to use them and all that. So the interface you are seeing right now is in Canva, right? This is the designing interface, like your workspace. So we'll go through that. Then in our fourth class, we'll design together. We'll use Canva to design together. And I also said that with the third class, we'll be doing it with our phone, right? But we have a video on laptop. Those who want to use laptop, we have a video on that. So I'll just share it with you for the third class. So lecture 3, I will share a video on how to use Canva on your laptop. So I'll share the video and then we'll have a meeting for iPhone phone users, right? But you can also join because obviously you have a phone. So you can join and then we'll learn how to use Canva on our phone. Okay. So someone is asking what's the difference between a logo and a flyer. So a logo is a brand identity. It represents a brand. So you see those small icons that people mostly use for their business DP. It's mostly a logo. A flyer has different information. So a flyer can have the products the company is selling, their or services, their contact information. Or let me show you some of the flyers and some of the logo. So okay. So let's take this for example, right? Okay. So for example, this one, okay. The B icon you are seeing here is a logo. It is representation of the brand. They created it's like a unique icon to represent the brand, right? So that when you see it, you can easily say that, oh, this is brand ad flyer or material, okay? So they put it, you see that on this t-shirt or Lacoste or whatever, the B is on top here, right? And then they have different formats. So this is also a logo. This one, the one that has brand creatives or brand creatives around the B is also a logo, right? But this is a business card. And then this one This one is a flyer. This one is a flyer. So a flyer has more information. So a logo is just like a representation of the brand in a word form or just in like an icon form. Let me quickly search for logos, popular logos. Okay. I think in my master class, we delve more into logo design, but let's go briefly over it here. So as you can see, they've given us a lot of logos, and mostly you can see it's made up of icons or text. So it's very small and it's just representing the brand. So let's come back to UBA. UBA, Ghana UBA, right? So this is UBA logo, right? So if you see this anywhere, you know that it's for UBA. So it's something that represents a brand without them being in the room. It's represent the brand. It's their brand identity. It represents the brand. There's so much into branding that I cannot teach in this class, but as we move on, we'll talk more about that. Okay. All right. So that's just it. So we have different forms of flyers. So all these three things here, this one, and this one, they are all marketing flyers, right? So the next question. Okay, so somebody is asking about payments. Yes, again, I think they were late coming because I've already spoken about it. So I said that there will be a master class after the free class. So the free class is for 4 days, right? And then we'll have a master class probably like a week after so that everybody can get ready financially to join. Um, yes, so there will be payment for, but not for this class. Okay, so this one is free. We'll have 4 days class. So today is the first day. Tomorrow we'll have another session. Today is what? Thursday, right? So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we should be done with the master class. And for Monday going, we can get ready for the master class. All right. Then so someone also is okay. Another person is drawing on my screen. Why? I'm wondering why. And that's a lot of drawing. Okay, so somebody is asking, is a Canva an app or computer application? So somebody has also answered, Sydney, thank you for answering. So it's both an app and it's both a software, right? So it's a website and they've built an app for it. So they have an app that you can download onto your laptop, and they also have an app you can download onto your phone, right? And it's an international app or software, so you can download it whether you are using iPhone or Android. So it is on Play Store, it is on App Store, and then they also have a website, right? So in our third class, we'll look at how to create an account, how to log in and all that, right? So they have a website that you can log in, and they also have apps. Those who just joined, yes, you will get access to the record, and I'm glad I was able to record all the sessions. So you will get access to the recording. No, it is not a software. You will just install the app. Okay. It's an app. You can install it on your phone or you can install it on your laptop. And it's also a website, which means that you don't need to install the app if you don't want to. You can log into your website on your phone, just like the way you Google things, right? So you can easily log into it. Yes, if you have any question or you want to reach out to me privately, please, you are free to reach out to me or any other admin on your pages. Like Sydney, you have a question. Okay, I'm unmuting you. So I've asked you to unmute so you can go ahead and ask your question.
Please, good evening.
Evening.
Please, would there be Photoshop class also?
Okay, so thank you for the question. Both me and my partner. Sorry about that. So I was saying that both me and my partner has extensive skills in Photoshop. So there will be a Photoshop class. I just don't know when, because there are other things that we are all engaged in, right? So you may ask why we chose Canva, because Canva is free, one. It is easy to use. We can use it on both phone and laptop, which means that we don't need laptop first, right? And most people don't have access to laptop. And if you joined from the beginning, I said that it's because people don't have access to a lot of opportunities, right? That's why I even started the initiative or organization in the first place. So it is just to help people work first or start something first before they transition into maybe getting their own laptop, maybe saving to buy a laptop, or getting maybe an uncle or a brother or sister, because they've now seen that, oh, she's doing this already, right? And they are good at it. So maybe we should help her get a laptop, so that they help you get a laptop. And now we can delve more into Photoshop. But if you have a laptop already, it's an advantage, and we can all move together. With that said, yes, there will be a Photoshop class, just not instantly or immediately after this class. I think we should look into that. So I'll plan it and I'll let you guys know. Probably like in a month's time, we'll have more information on that. I hope it's okay. So the person asking yes, Canva has a paid version, but I don't talk much about that, because mostly you can do whatever you want to do in Canva without needing the paid version, right? Except if you are working with like a brand or a company that wants you to use specific elements that are like paid for, then you can upgrade it, right? But yeah, mostly you don't need it. But if you want it, it's cool. They have like fun features you can use. They have a lot of elements you can explore and all that. So in the master class, we are going to learn how to design from scratch. My master class students are here. We will learn how to design everything from scratch, so that if you see a template in Canva that it's paid for, right? And you don't need to use it. You can create yours from scratch. You can bring your element and start from scratch and create your design, like the way you create design from scratch in Photoshop. We have few minutes to end the class, so I'll still go on and answer a few questions. Okay, Cindy said you said you are good with Photoshop too. Okay, maybe we'll bring you on board to come and teach some of the classes for the Photoshop class. Uh, would there be Adobe class? So Adobe is a brand, okay, and they have different software. So we have Adobe InDesign, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator. All those softwares are from Adobe. So Adobe is not really like something we can learn or something. Yes, they create this Photoshop and InDesign and Illustrator and all that, right? And most of their softwares are not free. You have to buy them or you have to pay for them. We have cracked ones that we will help you install if we are having the Photoshop class, right? It means that you are using somebody's property for free. So it means that like who we are all Ghanaians, right? So who we are where you see like it's you have not paid for it, but you are using it. So yeah, like it has copyright issues. But then yeah, we find a way of using it. So that's what I would say. Okay, somebody is also asking about Adobe After Effects. So as I've said, we started with this one because it is easier and it is more affordable and accessible to everybody, right? So as time goes on, we will find a way to have all these classes. Probably we'll have like trainers for different classes, so that when we have like a free class like this, those who want to join this one can go and learn that one. Those who want to join this one can also go and learn that one. So I hope that is understandable. With that said, if there's no other question, I want to say thank you all for joining. I've had the most fun in the class. I think I really love teaching. Okay, that's why I even started the training in the first place. I love teaching. My I did my degree in education, so I'm in the education sector. I love teaching, and it was fun teaching you guys. You were really active. So I hope that we will join back tomorrow and have another massive, successful class tomorrow. And it's a holiday, so yeah, have a fun night. Have a good night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please, please, please give me a minute to share the link, the feedback form. Okay, I'll even share it on the page, right? So please, let's make sure to respond to the feedback form and the quiz so that I will know that you guys have learned a lot in the class. If you also want to share what you learned specifically, you can send it to my DM. You can always chat me, okay? I'm always available 24/7. Also, know that the bigger vision for Smooth Tech is to help people transition, right? So if you are here and you are a student, maybe a senior high school student, and you want to go to university and you are looking for a way to go, or you are looking for opportunity, you want to know what is the next step, you have questions, you can always reach out and ask. If you have a sister or a brother who also have questions, you can reach out. University student, the same. If you want to write academic CV and you need somebody to guide you through, I'm always available. Even with the normal CVs, right? I'm always available to guide you through. If you're applying for school and you need assistance, I'm always available. So that'll be all. Do take care and have a good night. Bye bye.